Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dixie Lincoln Nichols, and today is day 21 of my 30-day YouTube challenge. The muscles, the muscles. I'm feeling myself because day 21 feels good. I feel a lot more comfortable. If you go back to my first video, you'll see how I sort of tiptoed in very quietly. Hi. Not knowing what to expect in a stranger's house. You come in quietly, very demure, very mindful, very cutesy. That's how I came in. So here on day 21, I already feel comfortable. I feel better. I feel like I can continue to do this because I'm not freaked out about what it is I'm going to say. I'm not freaked out about an audience watching me. And if you looked at my last video, you will recall that I said some words from someone. I have it stuck right here on my computer by at It's Drew. To conduct the orchestra, you must turn your back to the audience. And I did that. I literally turned my back to people who might be liking and all of that stuff. And when I say turn my back, not dismissing them, but not focusing on what they have to say so much that I miss what I have to say. It works. I like it. And so I put it right here on my computer just to remind myself when I am delivering my message, when I'm living in my purpose and I'm doing the things that I am called to do that I love to do, focus on the orchestra, focus on the message, right? So, anyway, I'm working on it and I think it is a beautiful message and I hope it can help you too because it has certainly helped me. Today, I want to talk to you about, I want to share with you some things that I have come into realization of this past year. I've mentioned several times over the past 20 videos that this year was a year of lots of losses, and it was an incredibly sad year for me. And I've moved through the year at my own pace. I have moved through the year with intention rather than force, because nothing forced is ever fruitful. And I've moved through my grief with intention rather than force. And in that, and by doing that, I should say, I learned a lot. And I think one of the videos, I can't remember which one I shared about the fact that I learned gratitude, amplified gratitude for the people who are not here anymore, and even more gratitude for the people who are here right now. And one of the things it led me to, right, my grief this year, was a realization that there is a flip side to longevity, right? And it's my phone. Silence it. There is a flip side to longevity. And we have to pay attention if we want to soften the passage of time. My grandmother is 91 years old. She turned 91 this year. And I started to reflect and look at all of the things that she and her other two friends who are now deceased, God rest their soul. One passed away last year, and the other one passed away a few months ago. One was 94, the other was 93. My grandmother is 91. She was the youngest of what we fondly called the Three Musketeers. Best friends, super cute, incredible, phenomenal women. But one of the things I've seen my grandmother experience, as have every single octogenarian, nonagenarian, centenarian, and supercentenarian, is incredible loss and all of the things that comes with longevity that we don't think about. So I know you've heard me mention, if you've listened to my videos, you've heard me mention two things a lot: longevity and vitality. Now, my grandmother is 91 and she has been blessed with longevity and she has also been blessed with vitality. 2 weeks ago, my grandmother was at a day-long event where she left home 6 o'clock in the morning and got back home 7 o'clock in the evening, hanging out with her 90-year-old brother. She has the strength and the energy to do that. A few days later, she was hospitalized because of shortness of breath and also because she accumulated some fluid in her lungs. And it was unrelated, the fluid in her lungs was unrelated to her adventure. But I say that to give an example of what longevity looks like and what vitality looks like. She is getting to that point, right? We know inevitably what's going to happen, and we can never be prepared for it, no matter how we try to prepare ourselves for the loss of someone. But when I say longevity and vitality, that's a lot of what I mean. Living a long life, but living a life where I'm able to live on my own, take care of myself. My grandmother cooks her own food. She takes care of herself. She lives in the upstairs of her house by herself. My cousin and his wife lives underneath on the downstairs, but she can take care of herself. She cooks and she bakes. Even at 91, she bakes goods and bread for her neighbors and friends and shares it out to people. So that's what I envision longevity and vitality to be. I have a living example of it in my life. And then I have other examples in the world around me, like people who live in the blue zones, right? Including one here in the US, which is called Loma Linda. You might look it up. But there is a flip side to longevity. And that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. So I wanted to share what I learned about the flip side of longevity. I shouldn't say what I learned, but more what I realized about the flip side of longevity, because we all know it. Some of us just don't center the thought. We don't linger on it. And I'm not lingering on it. I'm just in awareness of it and acknowledging it. Three things. Number one, the years stack up. And as the years stack up, there is more wear and tear on our bodies and our minds, especially. And so the body begins to change. A lot of people develop chronic illnesses like diabetes, heart conditions, bone conditions, mental health conditions, dementia, eyesight issues. I mean, think about it, right? There are tons of things that happen to the body as we get older. And the wear and tear of the body is going to manifest in some ways physically, right? For some people, it's worse than others. My grandmother at 91, she has issues that she's dealing with, but she manages them and she is able to take care of them so that they don't make her chronically ill. Another thing that happens is our social circle begins to decline. It begins to dwindle. I should say that's a better word, dwindle. As we get older, we experience more losses. Loved ones, family members, friends, colleagues, community members begin to die. And our social circles begin to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And some of us live longer than others, and we see this happening. And when you are younger, there are lots of people around, lots of friends, lots of family members, lots of people in your social circle. There is no shortage of people to connect with. But when you live longer, you begin to see all of that fade. And the longer you live, the more you will experience it, the more losses. will happen. So basically, the losses stack up. The wear and tear on the body stacks up. And then the third thing that I came into realization about is that for a lot of people, their purpose fades. There are people who have hopes of doing so many things, and life happens, and things change, and people pivot and they switch. They may lose their sense of purpose. They may ask themselves, I don't know, I just heard something outside. People may begin to ask themselves, why am I here? What am I here for? What am I doing? What is my purpose? What can I do to be of service for myself and to others? What can I do to continue to make an impact? I still have life. I still feel healthy. I have vitality. What can I do to contribute? Those three things I came into realization about when it comes to longevity, the flip side of longevity, and the things that people don't talk about, right? The more years you have, the more wear and tear on your body, social circles dwindling, and purpose fading. Now, I think the big question is like, how do we move past that? How do you navigate that as you get older? And I'm going by what I have seen in my life with my grandmother and her three friends who lived to be nonagenarians, women who were healthy in their 90s. Uh, they had full lives, got sick, and passed away. My grandmother is still going strong. God bless her, grant her longer life and health and vitality. But how do we circumvent that? How do we ensure if we're blessed with longevity, that we are blessed with vitality and navigate the flip side of it? Here are some of the things that I saw my grandmother and her friends do. They moved their bodies. Now, they weren't on treadmills running and doing marathons and stuff like that. They lived in the countryside. So they had gardens. Her friend, my grandmother's friend who died last year, she had a garden up until the year she died, up until a few months before she died. She would pick bananas, root vegetables, and share it with people in the village, including my grandmother and her other best friend. Imagine at 94 doing that. She had animals she took care of, dogs that she loved. My grandmother has chickens. She has her baking that keeps her busy. She gets up and she cleans the house and she does whatever she needs to do around the house. She has tons of plants that she waters and nourishes and feeds and takes care of. She goes to church every once in a while, so there's a community there for her. She goes on outings and excursions with her community, members of the older community. So she goes to banquets and she goes to dinners and breakfasts and lunches and luncheons. That's moving the body. And then a few weeks ago, before she got ill, she told me she was doing a walk with one of her neighbors, a 1 mile walk, which was pretty impressive, right? So move your body, find ways to move your body. It doesn't have to be running and jogging, nor speed walking. You can take like gentle walks, 5-minute walks every day, walk back and forth in the hallway if you have room, in your home, or if you have a treadmill. I don't like to see older people on treadmills because it's dangerous. I'll tell you something. My grandmother, about 20 years ago, fell on my treadmill while it was moving and it freaked me out. She's fine. Her bones were strong, didn't break anything. But I really don't like seeing older people on treadmills. So opt out of the treadmill. Just do the walk in the house, around the house, on the sidewalk, etc. Move the body. Plant your garden, your veggies and all that stuff. The next thing, eat well. Eat as well as you can. Eat as well as you can. Get all of those foods that your doctor tells you need to get into your body. Get it into your body. I'm not going into what they are, but eat well. The next thing is sleep. Get some sleep. I know it's a thing, right? As we get older, it seems to be harder for some people to sleep. Insomnia is a big thing. So, eating the right foods, being as active as you can be during the day will help with sleep. From my experience, in terms of what I see with my grandmother, she works during the day, she takes naps, one nap, sometimes two naps, but she's getting things done around her house. And then she goes to bed, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. She's in bed. Usually she's settled in bed 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, she's sleeping. The next thing is to stay connected. Stay connected, stay connected, stay connected. Community, community, community. It doesn't matter if you're in the nursing home, connect with the people in the nursing home. If you are in a church environment, connect with the people in church. Stay connected to family, stay connected to your friends, stay connected. Here's one of the things with my grandmother, and I keep coming back to her because even at 53, I am 53 years old now, but this is something that came to mind and something that I had to give some thought to. Like, what does it take to enjoy your life as you get older? Or what does it take to navigate your life as you get older? Because it's not always going to be enjoyment. There is navigating it and navigating it as healthily as possible. So, my grandmother has tons of people that she stays connected with. She has no shortage of friends. And these are not close, her best friends like her other two friends who passed away, who lived in her village. These are people who live in other countries, who love my grandmother and stayed connected with her throughout the years from their meetings and their associations in church or meeting people through her children and grandchildren. I have friends. I have a friend in Canada who calls my grandmother all the time. She calls her regularly and keeps in touch with her regularly. She has friends here in the United States. My grandmother lives in another country. She has friends here in the United States who connects with her. She has family in the United States who connects with her. She has family all over that stays connected with her. She has family who lives outside of her village in the city who comes up to visit her in the countryside. She is well connected. She's got WhatsApp and she stays connected with people. And having connection, having human connection is a really important part of maintaining health as you grow older. So if you're listening and you have elders in your family, mamas, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, give them a call. Stay connected, say hello, how you doing, what you doing, how has life been, what are your plans for today, whatever it is. And it makes a world of difference. So again, I'm 53, and it's like some people might be asking, well, why is she talking about all of this? You're only 53. Well, I keep praying for longevity and vitality. When I'm blessed with it, I want to be able to navigate it. And so if you desire longevity and vitality and you just might get it, know that you're going to have to be able to navigate it. And these are some of the things that you need to think of from now. I think as you get into your 50s, so much happen and the wheels start turning and the wheels start churning. And if you have older people in your family that you love and care for, as they start experiencing certain things in their lives, if you're mindful enough, you start to think and consider, wow, that could be me one day. How do I need to prepare for it? Or how do I need to start being mindful about preparation for that time if I'm blessed with having that time? Yeah. So those are my thoughts on the flip side of longevity. And that's it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in to video 21. I will see you again tomorrow for video number 22.